It's extremely important. Right, number 16. If you're working a job, you need to identify all the ways in which you could do your job better. A lot of people work their jobs and they don't try very hard. We've discussed this already about how lazy employees are. If you're an employee right now, you're probably lazy. So, you're working a job, you're not trying your best. Make a list of all the ways you could improve how you do your job. You could work faster, you can make more phone calls, you could care more about X, Y, Z. You could do the entire 9 hours without super long bathroom breaks where you disappear to sit on your phone, whatever, whatever. Make a list of all the ways you could improve the way you do your job. Then ask yourself why you don't do it. Why don't you work at 100% of your capacity? And the main reason is probably going to be because you're not incentivized to do so. I don't know about your job. Obviously, this is the Hustlers University. We're going to teach you how to make money outside of your job. But if you're in a job right now and the fastest way you can do to get a pay rise or increase your money is literally to sit there and think, I need X, Y, Z to be incentivized to do this job properly. I think you'll be surprised how often you can go into your managing director or your, especially for smaller companies, your boss's office and say, look, here's the deal. I want to do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. I think it's going to make us a lot of money. I just want to say, if I'm right and it pulls off, let me prove myself first. Let me make the money first. But if the money starts rolling in, that's when I'm going to be rewarded for it. They'll say, oh, okay. They'll call your bluff because you promised them money. When you go in there and you say that, all you've done is say, look, I want to make you some money. You say that to them, let the money start coming in, and they'll often reward you for it. If you're not doing your job to the best of your ability, then you need to be doing something else. And if you're not doing the job to the best of your ability, you need to be using that time to start something on the side. So my work history, as you can tell, is very varied. For a long period of time, I worked, when I say long, about a year, I worked for a company called N2. N2 sold web advertising. It sold advertising, websites, SEO, Google AdWords, all that kind of thing. So we would call up companies and convince them they need a new website, or they need SEO, or Google AdWords, or hosting, blah, blah, blah. It was like an online advertising agency. This is a few years ago. At the same time I was working there, this is the company when I read Wikipedia three days a week. At the same time I was working there, I was pissed off that I wasn't a business owner anymore. I kept remembering T2 and all the mistakes I made at T2, and I wanted to start a television advertising agency again, but I couldn't afford to quit this job, and I also knew that it was going to be very, very hard to sell television advertising like I did a few years before, because this was, when I was selling it before, was just before the big credit crunch. Remember that? Now we're in the height of the credit crunch, so it's going to be very difficult to get money out of people. So I decided to start a company anyway. I started a television advertising company called Vixels. I looked at the word pixels, I changed the P to a V. Doesn't make any sense. Vixels television advertising, and what I would do is, my brother would pitch television from home, and I would still work my normal job, and in between not doing any work at my normal job, I'd provide leads and fulfill leads, etc., etc. So not only am I working a normal job, I had another company on the side at the same time. And what was good about this is if I went to a company to give them a website and it was a particularly big company, and a company I think could afford TV, then I pitched them for Vixels on the side, or tell Tristan to call them and pitch them. So simultaneously as doing my job, I was running another company. Now, Vixels never really took off. I landed 3 or 4 deals. I maybe did 200-300 grand, which isn't a lot of money to me now, but 200 or 300 grand is a lot of money to most people in a year of a company. So instead of just sitting at my job doing absolutely nothing, I was doing a lot of nothing. I was reading Wikipedia, but I was also doing as much as I could for my own company on the side. So if you have a job right now, don't quit your job. People say to me all the time, oh, I need to quit my job. No, you don't. You don't need to quit your job. I guarantee there's enough time in the day for you to work your job and work your side hustle. Guaranteed. Because you're lazy and you don't do shit at your job anyway. You have all the time you need to continue with your job, get your side hustle rolling. When your hustle's rolling and you know the money's coming in, then quit. You don't need to quit your job at the same time. So people say it to me all the time, well, should I quit my job? And the answer is often no. You don't need to quit your job until you've been through and you've sorted out all the things we've already been over so far in this university. Is money coming in? Why would you quit your job? Is money coming in? Yes or no? No. Well, then why would you quit your job? I showed you already how easy it is to get money flowing in. Get the site online, bang, 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 get the money in, even if none of the fulfillment is ready. So if money's not coming in, you don't need to quit your job. No, you need to do everything at the same time. You can get money rolling in first before you consider ducking out of a job, sitting around at home, and being broke. So that's a very important key thing about jobs, because I get asked that all the time.